Virtual reality is a technology that immerses you in a simulated environment using a headset and controllers. You can experience different worlds, interact with virtual objects and characters, and feel like you are really there in a full 360 degrees. VR can be fun, exciting, and educational, but it can also cause some unpleasant side effects for some people. One of the most common problems is VR sickness, also known as cyber sickness. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's DTDYL, a VTuber who likes to explore new worlds and meet new friends along the way. Today, we're going to talk about why some VR games can make you feel a little nauseous. It's a problem that many VR users have encountered, but don't worry, it's very common and easy to combat. First, let's talk about what causes this feeling. When you're in a VR game, your eyes are seeing movement, and your brain thinks that you're actually moving, but your body is stationary. This conflict between what your eyes see and what your body feels can cause what's known as VR sickness. VR sickness is a form of motion sickness that occurs when your brain receives conflicting signals from your eyes and your inner ear. Your inner ear is responsible for balance and orientation. When you play a VR game, your eyes are moving in a virtual sense, but your body feels still or moves differently than what is expected. This mismatch can confuse your brain and make you feel dizzy, nauseous, sweaty, or even cause a headache. Some people may experience eye strain, fatigue, or disorientation. VR sickness can vary depending on the individual, the type of VR game, and the quality of the VR system. Some factors that can increase the risk or severity of VR sickness are the level of immersion. The more realistic and immersive the VR game is, the more likely it is to cause VR sickness. For example, games that involve fast movements, complex motions, or changes in perspective can be more problematic than games that are static or simple. The level of control. The more control you have over your own movement and actions in the VR game, the less likely you are to experience VR sickness. For example, games that allow you to move freely with your own body or controllers can be more comfortable than games that move you automatically or unpredictably. The level of comfort. The more comfortable you are with the VR system and the game settings, the less likely you are to experience VR sickness. For example, games that have a high frame rate, low latency, clear graphics, and adjustable options can be more enjoyable than games that have low quality or performance issues. Now, some VR games are more prone to causing this feeling than others. For example, games with a lot of fast movements, sudden changes in direction, or intense motion can be more likely to make you feel sick. This is because the faster and more intense the movement is, the more your brain has to work to keep up with what's happening, and the more likely it is to get confused. On the other hand, games with slower, more deliberate movements are usually easier on the stomach. So if you are prone to VR sickness, it is a good idea to stick to games that aren't too intense. Games like Beat Saber, Job Simulator, or even Superhot VR are great examples with slower, more controlled movements that are less likely to cause VR sickness. But don't worry, there are things you can do to reduce the chances of getting VR sickness. Taking breaks frequently, staying hydrated, and making sure you're in a comfortable environment can all help. It's also important to make sure that you're wearing the headset correctly and that it's adjusted properly to fit your head. A poorly fitted headset can cause discomfort and lead to VR sickness. There are some other ways to prevent or reduce VR sickness if you want to enjoy VR games without feeling sick. Here are some tips. Choose a suitable VR game. Before playing a VR game, check the ratings, reviews, and descriptions to see if it's suitable for your preferences and tolerance level. Avoid games that have high motion, frequent changes in direction or speed, or unrealistic physics. You can also look for games that have comfort features such as teleportation, snap turning, vignetting, or motion controls. This is usually found in the in-game settings menu. Adjust the VR system. Before playing a VR game, make sure that the VR system is set up properly and fits you well. Adjust head straps, lenses, your IPD, and volume to ensure clear and comfortable view and sound. You can also calibrate the tracking system and controllers to ensure accurate and responsive movement. Take breaks. During a VR game, take frequent breaks to rest your eyes and body. You can pause the game every 15 to 30 minutes or whenever you feel uncomfortable. You can also remove the headset and look at a fixed point in the real world just to reorient yourself. Drink lots of water and avoid alcohol or caffeine, and stay hydrated, stay alert. Stop if you feel sick. If you experience any symptoms of VR sickness, stop playing the game immediately and don't force yourself to continue. You could sit down and close your eyes until you feel better. You could also take some anti-nausea medication or drink some ginger tea. Don't resume playing until you feel fully recovered. This used to happen to me way too often when I started using VR. Take a break and don't let it hold you back from picking up your headset later on. You will get through it. Another thing to keep in mind is that everyone's tolerance for VR sickness is different. Some people can play for hours without feeling sick, while others may start to feel queasy even just after a few minutes. If you're new to VR or haven't played in a while, it's a good idea to start with shorter sessions and gradually build up to longer ones as you get more comfortable. VR games can be a lot of fun if you play them safely and responsibly. By following these tips, you can avoid or minimize VR sickness and enjoy virtual reality without feeling sick. So there you have it. Some reasons why VR games can make you feel a little sick, and some tips on how to prevent it and have an enjoyable VR experience. Remember, VR can be incredibly fun and an immersive experience, but it's important to listen to your body and take breaks when needed. I hope you found the information in this video helpful, and as always, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to follow along with this VR adventure. Stay tuned and see you later.